Good morning from Kittery, Maine today. This should be a pretty quick video. I have a very specific thing that I'm doing this morning. I don't know if I'm going to do a whole lot of walking around and taking multiple photos. I'm really just taking one photo, and that is a panoramic. And I want to try a few different things this morning. First thing that you'll notice is that it is very overcast today, and the weather forecast has kind of gone back and forth whether or not what's going to happen, but it actually looks like, you can kind of see there, it's almost starting to break up. It's sunrise right now, so sunrise is at 5:20. I think it's like 5:22, so the sun is almost trying to break up the clouds over there. It might happen in whatever. Ultimately, I just want to practice this shot. I wanted to come out here to Kittery and Badger's Island and see if I could find a spot to take this shot. And what I'm looking for is a panoramic of the waterfront in Portsmouth. I want to make a print for this for myself more than anything. And this is really the best spot to get it. I think, I've looked around. I don't think I'm trespassing. I didn't see any signs that says I could come out here, so. One thing about this particular spot, you definitely need to be here at low tide. Where I'm standing right now would be underwater at high tide. Low tide is right now. I think it just finished going out, so I've got quite some time before the water gets back up here on the river. So I'll show you what's going on. You can see Portsmouth in the background here. There's the waterfront. And the sky is so close to opening up. I'm really hoping that it does. Because I'd like to get a nice sky in here too and not have to come back to do another shoot. But we'll see what happens. So here are the things that I'm going to try. I don't have any fancy panoramic brackets. I was actually thinking about on the way over that I might be able to just go to the hardware store and make one myself rather than purchasing one. So all I have is my ball mount tripod, and I'm going to have to manually articulate it around so that it's in place for each of the panoramic shots. So I have my 55mm on, which is my sharpest lens. Looking at this here, I'd almost actually like this to have been a even larger focal length, but 55 is all I've got. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to start off doing a horizontal panoramic. So I'll start on this side and take horizontal pictures. Probably by the looks of it, it's going to take 3 horizontal pictures to get it all the way across. And then I'm going to try taking vertical pictures. Now, the horizontal I expect are probably going to work out okay, because on a ball mount, with a horizontal I can maintain the central pivot point of the camera, and therefore, from my understanding of how panoramics work, they're going to fit together much better, and you're going to end up with a better, much more area that you can crop. Thankfully I'm far enough away, so I should have lots of room to crop in. My focus point is on the buildings. I'm actually, unlike how I usually do this, I normally would use a manual focus. I'm actually going to use autofocus and choose my focus point with each shot to make sure that I have the buildings exactly in focus with each shot. And hopefully as they lay on top of each other, even though the buildings kind of fluctuate back and forth compared to me, I maintain focus across the entire panoramic. So with as horizontal images, I can maintain the central pivot as I'm doing these, but as soon as I turn the camera over and I start doing this on the vertical, I'm going to lose that central pivot point, and I'm almost going to be moving in an arc as I take the pictures, which is, from my understanding, not an ideal situation for panoramics. But what vertical gives me is a much one, I'll have more photos to layer together, but it also gives me more cropping that I can do, so I can change the composition of the panoramic in post. I'm not sure which one's going to be better necessarily, but I'm going to try it a couple different ways and see how it ends up. Alrighty, so here is the first setup. I'm going to start on the far left here. So you can see here I've got ISO 50. I want to take advantage of as much noise out of this as I possibly can. I'm going to stop, or what am I trying to say? I'm going to set the shutter speed at 1/4. I actually want it a little bit darker because I want to get as much detail out of the sky as I can, and I know I can bring up the shadows. I've got this little line of Canadian geese here. That might make an interesting part of the photo, but where it's going to take so long, they're probably just going to be all blurred out, but we'll see how it goes. F8, so I'm going with probably the sharpest aperture for this shot, and my focus point, you see here, right on the closest of the buildings that are looking at me. So that's good. Let's go ahead and take this shot. Great. So I think the important thing, I want to note where the edge of my screen is here, and I'm going to try to turn this. Turn this, I said. There we go. Right. Let's see. So I know the edge right about there. There are some white windows. Now what I'm already seeing, I think I need to come up a little bit. There. So I've maintained level across the two photos here. We'll see how that works out. But I got a little less light on this side, or a little more light coming in on this side, so stop it down, or not stop it down, but change the shutter speed to 1/13. Let's get my focal point correct. For this, I want to be focused right here with that church is. Photo. I got it before those boats came in, so I'm actually going to take this a couple times because the sky is starting to lighten up over there and actually break up. So there might actually be some nice shots here this morning. Here's hoping. Time to try some vertical shots. This is going to be a lot more challenging. Right now I'm trying to hold the camera and take video at the same time, so all the settings are exactly the same. What's different is this ball head, and you can see as I move this, rather than have a central point here and it's going to turn, this is going to come out and around, and that kind of create that bowl shape in your panoramic. So I may not like the verticals as much. I'm going to give it a try anyway, even though I don't have the stuff. So I have to put the camera down, the video down, in order to get do this, because it takes both hands. But I guess we'll see how this shot comes out. Using the vertical, you certainly ran into a little bit of distortion in the line of the horizon. I can't say that I really care for the vertical representation, and the part of that is probably just how I'm doing it. I think I could probably do it better, but you know, if I was to compare the two, I definitely preferred the horizontal over the vertical. So for now, I'm going to call that all done. This is more of a test to see, one, if I can get the panoramics to come out how I like it better, if I like the horizontal panoramics or I like the vertical panoramics better, see how the 55mm does with the job, see if I really need the L bracket for centralizing the camera on the tripod. I suspect I do, but I really want to come out here when I have an extremely interesting sky and take the same shot, because ultimately the sun should come up right behind me where all those clouds are and just light up the front of these buildings and get, all the windows will be golden orange. And that's really the shot I want. Today I'm just not going to get it, it doesn't look like. Although the clouds are breaking up slightly, so it's not too bad. So I'm just going to hang out here and see if the weather changes, maybe take some more, see if I can get an even better shot. But
so as I was just getting ready to leave, I decided to really take my editing program to the max and decided to take 3 images, all bracketed, which is a total of 9 files, and then stitch those together into one huge panoramic. It was a lot of editing time, and it was a lot of files, and the ultimate image is a huge amount of megapixels. But I think ultimately this is probably the way that I'll go as far as creating this image in the future. The church is centered. Everything is super sharp. I think the representation of that line of the line of the city is very well done, and yeah, this is very likely what I'll probably use going forward.
That's it for this morning. That was my one and only goal. So I guess we'll move on to next week. Have a good week. Hope you get out there and get some shooting in yourself. Have a good one.